Thank you for joining me here this afternoon. The time is now 4:29 p.m. Central, 5:29 p.m. Eastern, and today we are here for a little forecast update on a potential large winter storm that could get going at the start of January, and also a massive Arctic blast that is going to be driving this. Oh, so there's me again. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. If you guys are excited for this stream, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with a friend, because we have got ourselves a big-time winter storm in the forecast here over the next couple of weeks. If we go ahead and take a look at the GFS model here, we can see that we're going to see a little bit of snow across portions of the central plains across the next couple of days, but it'll mostly just be a rain and thunderstorm event, actually, that will kind of push eastward and bring some snow to the Ohio Valley and parts of northern New England, but that's not the big system. We're also going to have another system after that that's going to be associated with our first Arctic blast here around January 2nd, January 3rd. We're going to be talking about very below average temperatures in the parts of the northern plains, especially. If we take a sounding here from Minnesota, we can see we're talking about 6 degrees Fahrenheit at 6 p.m., and that will bring some snow to portions of the Ohio Valley and New England once again, but that's not even the big system yet. Again, we'll continue to see more of that cold air dive down into parts of the southeastern United States. Really everywhere from Montana down into the Carolinas can expect far below average temperatures, but the big system here is going to get going around the end of this week into early next week here, alright? This is Monday. This is January 6th. We can see that we have a massive winter storm developing with a huge threat for ice in the parts of Arkansas, a big-time snow threat up here in parts of the northern plains, and then maybe even a severe weather threat down for parts of the deep south here, areas like Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. And this will be a massive deal because areas down in Arkansas and Tennessee are not used to seeing big-time winter storms. Last year, whenever we had one, there were several fatalities due to wrecks on the interstate and stuff like that. Now, that will also bring a significant amount of snow to the Ohio Valley and parts of Appalachia and New England as well. But again, it's mainly going to be parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley that we're really watching here. Now, if you're wondering what the snow totals look like for all that, they are looking absolutely insane here on the new run of the GFS. Now, you do have to keep in mind, this has been shifting from area to area the past several runs, but the general consensus is that it will mostly total up somewhere in the Midwest, the highest snowfall amounts. But the new run of the GFS likes that idea of that heavy snow being centered across parts of central Arkansas, where it's showing record-breaking snow totals up to 2 feet. Now, remember, we are forecasting far out on the GFS model, and it has been shifting consistently on what it thinks will be the highest snow total region. But something to take away from this is that this will be a big-time snowstorm. Whether it does focus more in the deep south or on the Ohio Valley or even in New England will change throughout the next several runs of the GFS, but it has been consistent on the idea that there will be one there. So we're going to have to look out for a big-time winter storm threat somewhere in the Ohio Valley / the mid-Mississippi Valley. And again, we're also going to be talking about the potential for a big-time ice storm, which is also included in the totals here that you're seeing for parts of Arkansas and Missouri. Again, if this specific event was to play out again, if this is exactly what happens, which it likely will not be, we will end up seeing significant record-breaking snow for parts of central Arkansas, well over a foot in Little Rock. We would see some light accumulation in Memphis. We would have over a foot in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. We would have a good 7 inches or so in St. Louis, around 10 inches in Kansas City, even like half a foot up towards areas like Des Moines, parts of western Kentucky seeing well over a foot of snow. But remember, it will change throughout the next several runs of the GFS as it has been. For example, this is the run just before this, and it paints a completely different scenario here. So, again, it still has those few minor pushes of Arctic blast before this big system, but this time around, it pushes the ice threat much further north and says all Arkansas will see is just some rain. It likes the idea of some significant ice and sleet to be possible across portions of the mid and even a little bit of the upper Mississippi Valley, and it likes the idea of all the snow really staying pretty far to the north there. I mean, once you get to that cutoff line, it's sharp, and there's not going to be a lot of areas that do see just snow. It's mostly going to be a mixture of snow, rain, and sleet. Now, if that scenario were to play out, the snow totals would look much different here. As you can see, Arkansas now has literally no snow in the central part of the state. We got a few inches up north, but this likes the idea of things being centered across portions of the eastern plains. If we take a look at the quad state region of Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas, we can see that we're expecting well over half a foot of snow if this were to play out for most of those areas there. Kansas City would get a significant half foot of snow. We would be talking about around 4 or 5 inches of snow in downtown St. Louis. We'd be getting around half a foot of snow in Chicago. We'd be talking about areas like Fort Wayne, Indiana, seeing significant snow. Now, while the forecasting for this event may change from GFS run to GFS run, there is one thing that's been very consistent, and that is the lake effect snow threat across parts of upstate New York here. We're seeing several areas that could pick up multiple feet of snow from this event, and actually runs of the GFS recently have been hitting at a big lake effect snow event after this as well. Now, remember, this is 384 hours out, so this is all just for fun, but we are talking about up to 4 feet of snow over the next few weeks across parts of upstate Maine if that were to play out. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. Again, this is one fairy tale run of the GFS, but it does like that idea of a few feet of snow as well in some of our classic lake effect snow areas. So again, that would be very significant, and again, that second winter storm would rack up the snow totals a lot further. At this point, we'd be talking about around a foot of snow in Chicago, a foot of snow close to Des Moines, still around half a foot to 3/4 of a foot near Kansas City. Cleveland would see multiple feet of snow due to that lake effect snow band. How does St. Louis look in terms of snow? So again, it varies from GFS run to GFS run, but I will actually say St. Louis has been a consistent hot spot for snow. You've been kind of right in the middle of all the action every run. So on the most recent run of the GFS, it's showing about 8 or 9 inches of snow for you. Again, if this event does play out further to the north, that may result in you just seeing a good 5 or 6 inches of snow. And the 6C run of the GFS really didn't have too much snow for St. Louis at all. But again, a second system will come through eventually, and that may rack up those snow totals a little bit higher. If we look back a few days, actually, around Christmas Day, it was showing some wild stuff. Sorry, I guess it would be a little bit after this, but if we look at, say, the 27th here, this is not it either. I guess, was it the 28th? Let's check it out. Yeah. So this is the run that really focuses things further on the Ohio Valley. It likes the idea of all of Ohio seeing well over a foot of snow, up to 2 feet of snow in the Appalachian regions, several feet of snow due to lake effect snow bands. Again, this would include both of our big time systems. And again, this is a fairy tale run of the GFS, guys. This was whenever we were forecasting 300 hours out. Again, now things are looking a little bit more confident in the fact that we're going to have this play out over parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley. But this new run of the GFS painting 2 feet of snow for Arkansas is unbelievable. Again, that is not going to happen. Again, this is one run of the GFS. You got to keep that in mind. So we've been yapping now for a good 7 minutes straight. I think it's time that we go ahead and switch things over to checking chat for a little bit. How's it going, everybody? What's up, Mr. Storm? We've got Sam. We've got Kevin, Joan, Peachy, Lucy, G-Bro, Gooseman, Dahani, Laura, Killa, Rockets, Pierre, Mark. We have got literally everybody in here today. I saw even Caleb is here, Alan. Northwest Illinois going to be a snow mess for New Year's, so not New Year's Day in particular likely. Again, a lot of that action that we're talking about with this system will take place later into next week here. But if we take a look at things, we could be talking about, again, maybe some dustings of snow all across parts of rural northwest Illinois there. But again, likely nothing significant, and that would likely occur over the next 24 hours or so. You hope eastern Iowa gets the most. That's definitely a potential. Again, we keep going back and forth whether we think this is going to be more focused on parts of the upper Mississippi Valley or the mid-Mississippi Valley. Right now, things are looking more like the mid-Mississippi Valley there for a good couple feet of snow in Arkansas, which again would be absolutely record-breaking if that were to happen. But remember, that also includes sleet and ice totals, and that's also the hotspot for those threats, according to this GFS run. But eastern Iowa on the newest run, even if it is focused on the mid-Mississippi Valley, you'd likely still be talking about a good half foot of snow. GFS showing snow in Texas. Yes, a little dusting there in parts of northeast Texas, but actually a decent accumulation in west Texas. Again, I don't think this Arctic blast is going to be quite that significant, but I do think that it will be pretty big. So if you're just now tuning in, and if you are new here, make sure to click that subscribe button if you have not already. We do this every day for areas all across the country. We are going to be covering this event live, very likely, as this will be a massive historic snow event if this were to play out for parts of central Arkansas like this. Again, even if it doesn't, it would be a big-time ice event and then a big-time snow event for the upper Mississippi Valley. There's really no way around it. We are going to see something significant out of this. South Carolina, Sam. So upstate South Carolina, up there in the parts of Appalachia, maybe a good few inches of accumulation, but in your region, probably not anything. What about Arkansas? Yeah, so again, on this newest run in the GFS, again, this will not play out exactly like this, but it does like the idea of a couple feet of snow into parts of central Arkansas, a good foot or more anywhere from Little Rock northward. Again, this will not likely happen, as that is also including ice accumulation, and then also, we've still got a long way to go until this actually happens. Model runs have been changing over and over again, but again, this eventually will be a pretty big-time ice threat for parts of Arkansas and Tennessee, no matter what here. Indiana, yeah, so again, there are a few runs that like the idea of the Ohio Valley getting some big-time snow, but if we take a look at the most recent one, we can see that it's a little bit less aggressive here. Down in the southern portion of the state, maybe you get a good 8 or 9 inches of snow, and that would be very significant for southwest Indiana. But if you're up in the central portion of the state, you could probably just expect a few inches. Now, again, this is the first of 2 big winter storms that we think will roll through. The GFS 18Z here is still currently loading in, and we eventually will see, again, 384 hours out, what it's thinking for that next winter system. How much snow for the Ohio Valley? Yeah, so again, the newest run here kind of figures a good half foot of snow on average there for a good chunk of the Ohio Valley, but if you focus back down on extreme southern Illinois and extreme southwest Indiana, you could be talking about closer to a foot. What's the Euro looking like? Yeah, so the European model here does show a similar scenario. Unfortunately, we can't actually look at the snow totals with the European model here, but if we take a look at things, if we go ahead and play things out to where this winter storm event happens, you can see that it is expecting, again, a big-time ice storm to start up in parts of northeastern Kansas around the 4th or the 5th, so a little bit earlier than what the GFS is saying, and it actually does favor the idea of some thunderstorms, maybe some isolated severe thunderstorms popping up into parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Mississippi, so that may be something to watch. But again, mostly snow there everywhere north of, say, central Missouri. Again, it kind of pushes the 32-degree mark a little bit further to the north, so if you're down in the lower Mississippi Valley or the mid-Mississippi Valley, in this scenario, there's no way you'd be seeing any snow, and again, maybe even a little bit of severe weather, quite possibly. A little sounding here from Louisiana shows around 66-degree temperatures, around the same for dew points. It looks like we will have a decent amount of cape, and then wind shear could be somewhat significant there, PWAT of 1.42 inches. So, again, it will all change, but for right now, that's kind of what we're thinking. Again, unfortunately, we can't actually check the total snow accumulations with the European model. We can look at rainfall totals, though, and those do look quite significant. How about Long Island and the Northeast? So, yeah, the Northeast here, if we go back to the GFS model, we can see that if we turn things over to the future track, we can see that we're expecting that system to kind of make its way out towards New England kind of early next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to be talking about some snow, especially in northern New England. I think southern New England, everywhere along the I-95 corridor southward, would likely see rain from this rather than snow. But, again, a lot of snow up there in the parts of northern New England. And, again, those lake effect snow bands will be very significant, with potentially up to a couple feet of snow if things go just right, or wrong if you don't like snow. But in the mountainous regions of New England, we're talking about well over a foot, quite possibly. So, again, if you are just now tuning in, make sure to subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country. The sub goal today is 3150. We lost like 15 subs yesterday, so I don't know if YouTube's deleting inactive accounts or if I said something stupid. I probably did, but I would appreciate it if you could help us reach that goal. We are trying to make ourselves kind of pushed out there pretty well. Again, we do this for hours every single day, no matter what the situation is, whether it's a forecast, a documentary video, or a live stream actually covering severe weather. We do this all the time, so again, it would help out a lot if you could click that subscribe button. Again, if you have any questions about your location, feel free to leave those down below in the chat. That helps out a lot, so that we kind of know what areas we have watching the stream here. So give me just a sec. What's going on, everybody? Subscribe to Mr. Stormer. No drone footage is coming out. Alright. Fair enough. Any snow for Normandy, Texas? Well, just based on the fact that you said Texas, I'm going to say no. Interestingly enough, the GFS has had a somewhat consistent signal that parts of West Texas could pick up on some significant snow, but if you're talking East Texas, which again, that's where Norman G is, I do believe, you're not going to be really seeing any significant snow totals. Again, maybe some severe weather from this system, if nothing else. We've got Northwest Georgia here. What's up? So Northwest Georgia could potentially be a spot to watch up in like parts of Appalachia for some snow totals, but outside of that, no real accumulation. But again, we could be talking about a good few inches of snow up there way in the northern part of the state, up by Appalachia, right along the state line there. I should do the hurricane in Galveston in the 1900s. Yeah, that was a massive flooding event. Yeah, Southeast Texas, actually the new run of the GFS has just picked up a little signal here that maybe you get a couple inches of accumulation, but again, that's a big time, maybe not kind of thing. Again, it's whenever you get past 200 hours out, things get very iffy and uncertain. Any chauffeur at Dallas, Texas, or Greenville, Texas, to Vicksburg, Mississippi, to Jackson, Mississippi. I'm assuming you meant snow. So, again, the GFS mostly thinks that only the northern part of Mississippi there would see any sort of snow at all, even then it's not a real significant amount. And then as for Texas, again, Texas is really looking like a wild card. The GFS likes the idea of some snow in the western part of the state. I wouldn't guess it would be over half a foot like it's saying this run. But we could be talking about some snow out there, sure. Now, Dallas, probably not. Maybe some flurries at best. No problem, June. Dude, we keep dropping subs. We're dropping like flies, unfortunately. It's unfortunate. That's why I said unfortunately. Alright. So again, I do appreciate all the support this stream. Hey, we're going back up. There we go. We're now at 3,114 subscribers. We're only 36 away from our goal now. Yeah, totally. South Carolina will totally see 3 feet of snow. Is Hackleburg, Alabama going to get any snow? It's actually quite possible that you could see a dusting. At least the new run of the GFS likes that idea. But if we look at past runs here, again, you'll see that it never really gets anything more than that. Just some isolated flurries, if anything at all. Again, it's been kind of consistent on maybe a good coating to an inch of snow for the Hackleburg area, I'd say. So again, thank you all for joining. If you are just now tuning in, feel free to subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country. We cover winter storms, tornadoes, and hurricanes. We try to do our best here. What state am I in? I am up in Illinois, so I'm very excited for this event. We have not had a significant winter storm in years, at least not to this magnitude for my specific part of Illinois. It is going to be insane out there. Yeah, no problem, Siege. How about Virginia? So Virginia would likely be a spot to watch in parts of Appalachia once again, but if you're just talking about like the state of Virginia, a good coating is definitely possible with this system, I would say that much. The 18Z likes the idea of that, the 12Z likes the idea of that, and that's just kind of been the consistency that we've been having. The 6Z, again, this is the run that likes to focus it more on New England. If this were to happen, we would be seeing a lot more significant snow totals in Virginia, maybe even over a foot in some spots, but again, I don't think that's going to happen. When is this weather event? So this will be early the second week of January. Again, really everywhere from January 4th to January 8th. This could be one of the more significant winter storms that we've seen so far this year, so we're looking out for this. Yeah, it's looking good, Lucy. It's looking good. Stormrunner Media got featured in a Disney Plus video. Did they really? Well, that indirectly, if you want to play the little link game, that indirectly links me to Disney. Because Stormrunner Media has been in our streams quite a few times. Telling you Davis, Missouri has been sad for winter. Last good snow was 2019. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, all of the Midwest, really, and the lower part of the Midwest anyway, has been quite sad the past few years. So again, this system does bring us some hope that maybe 24-25's winter will be a bit more exciting. Again, so far we've seen a good, decent few snow events in the Midwest, but recently, not much at all, honestly. What's up, Sammy? Again, if you're just now tuning in, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 3,150 subs today. What's up, Mr. Twister? Mr. Twister, since I did promise we would add you as a mod next, since we're starting to see a new amount of people that we've never really seen before on our streams, we'll throw you to moderator. So enjoy that. Thank you for being a long-time viewer. And a consistent viewer. Will Kentucky see above average snowfall next year? If you're talking about like 2025's winter, again, you may actually get a significant amount of snow from this storm if the threat is more focused on the Ohio Valley. We could be talking about a good half foot of snow or so for some parts of northern Kentucky up there by Louisville, so I'd definitely be on the lookout for that. It's quite possible with the La Nina pattern that we're entering. Our like goal for today on this stream is 100 likes, so if you haven't already, feel free to like the stream as well. Again, make sure to subscribe, though. That's a big thing. Since we do this every day, you will get notified if there's ever any severe weather in your area. I promise you we will be there for it if it is significant. Again, we're here for pretty much every tornado that touches down. We are here for every hurricane that makes landfall, and we are here for every major winter storm that needs covered. Again, last week we did over 20 hours of coverage for parts of the Deep South for the massive, historic not super outbreak, but big time tornado outbreak. So, again, if you're ever down anywhere, really, not just the Deep South, anywhere in the United States, and you ever need some coverage, we will be here. We're now at 3,117 subs. You just got your eyes checked, W Vision. Yeah, I do not have W Vision, as you could tell, but I think we would see a coastal snowstorm past January 5th in southern New England. I'm not even going to talk on that because at that point, you're forecasting well over 200, or not quite, but once you get past really the next chance that we would have for snow in southern New England, we're talking over 200 hours out, so it's not really even worth forecasting again. This run of the GFS, the 6C in particular, likes a good, foot of snow or more in southern New England, but unfortunately for you, I doubt that would happen. Again, that's with our massive nor'easter that it's expecting, but no, yeah, cats hate me, apparently. Again, if you didn't see my community post, you won't know what I'm talking about, but that's a lot less than my screen time, Mr. Twister. Mine is a lot worse. Again, we do coverage, obviously, so mine's going to be higher than the average, but let's see, what's my screen time? I don't even really want to look at this, but gosh. We have... That hurts. Remember, it's Christmas break, but my average is 9 hours and 40 minutes. That's a yikes. Whew. That does not make me feel good. Now, that also accounts for whenever I'm riding my scooter, if I'm listening to music or anything. That also accounts for if I have multiple devices on at once. I think that doubles the screen time, but still. Might get my first accumulating snow here in DC. Yeah, that's definitely possible, again, especially if it's a more New England-focused threat like the 6C run wanted. Again, this is after the second winter storm, but the first winter storm definitely could bring you a good couple inches of snow in DC if this is a New England-focused thing. During the summer, I got to like 6 to 7 daily average. Dude, my average over the summer was like 12. I had no life. No, I did. We were doing a lot of streaming, though, because this summer was very active in terms of hurricanes, obviously. Alrighty. So we are now at 3,116 subscribers. We're 34 away from our goal for today. Yours is 2 hours. It's a lot better than mine. Yes, Arkansas definitely will have some cool weather coming, whether it's sleet, severe weather, or snow. Really, it could be anything, but Arkansas will see something early next week. Again, it's very uncertain for the Arkansas area. I'd say the biggest wild card states out of this entire event will be Arkansas and Texas. I'm very interested in seeing if we really see this much snow in Texas, which is a different system, but still. And then also, I'm very interested in Arkansas if it's going to be sleet, snow, or severe weather. Every run has had something different. This is the 18Z showing 2 feet of snow for Little Rock, and then the 12Z shows literally none. And then you go back to the 6Z, it shows a little bit. You go back to the 0Z, it shows none. 18Z shows a little bit, and then the 12Z of yesterday shows a little bit. The 6Z of yesterday shows a little bit. So again, just so on and so forth there. This is really the first big run here for the Little Rock region. Oh yes, I'm sure Mr. Storm is skibbity toilet in Fortnite. My brain hurts. But yeah, the GFS likes the idea, the new run, as well as the past several, of the 540 line going down into the Gulf of Mexico, and temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico getting close to freezing, which is just unbelievable stuff. I mean, that legitimately just does not happen. Ever. Very concerned about Texas. My son lives there, and last time it was horrible for my family. Again, luckily, Texas doesn't look like it'll be anything too significant. Illinois, yeah, so again, Illinois is going to be a big-time state for snow because of the fact that it is a part of the Mississippi Valley, it's a part of the Ohio Valley, it's a part of the Midwest, so no matter what kind of threat we're focusing on here, some part of Illinois will be big. The 18Z run in the GFS likes the idea of over a foot down by the Ohio River, and then a good half foot of snow for everywhere south of Chicago northward around 4 or 5 inches. The 12Z run was looking the exact opposite. The 12Z, because this was a more upper Mississippi Valley focused run, it was showing a good 8 or 9 inches consistently for northern Illinois, and then the further south you get, the less. And then the 6Z run had the similar picture to that. The 0Z run flips us back on our heads, where the entire state could be expecting a foot, it looks like, and then just a little divot there over Champaign where you get unlucky and you get like 3 or 4 inches, but it's a massive wild card. That would be insane. Again, it won't happen, but it's crazy to think that realistically, we're not too far away from seeing snow in the Gulf from this. What about Chicago? Yeah, again, Chicago, big wild card again. If we're just talking about the first winter storm and not the second one that will likely come through here after the fact, we will be talking about, let's see, around 10 inches of snow in Chicago here, according to the 0Z run of today. But the newest run here shows 4 or 5 inches of snow, and then the 12Z run shows a good 7 or 8 inches of snow. The 6Z shows a good 6 inches of snow. 0Z, again, is the one that's showing closer to a foot. That would be insane. Yeah, that's another thing that we haven't even talked about. The Climate Prediction Center has issued a slight risk for heavy snowfall here. This is an experimental feature, but they've had it for a while. I guess it's actually now up to a moderate risk of heavy snowfall for parts of Appalachia and the Great Lakes region. Again, lake effect snow will be massive. And they've gotten 2 of those thrown out there. Again, one of them being focused on parts of the Appalachian region, the other being focused on parts of Lake Michigan, and then slight risks of heavy snow outside of that. One of them goes back down into Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, which does not happen very often. But the entire eastern half of the country pretty much is included in a slight risk of heavy snow at least. And then the temperature map looks something very similar, but instead of it being a moderate risk, we actually have a high risk for below normal temperatures in the southeast. Now, here's something to keep in mind. You may be thinking, okay, how is it going to be a slight risk in Montana and then a high risk in the southeast? That doesn't mean that it's going to be colder in the southeast than in Montana. It just means that it has a higher chance of being below average compared to the normal. So again, obviously, Montana standards are a lot different than the southeast here. So the high risk of heavy snow in the southeast, or sorry, not heavy snow, but high risk of hazardous cold temperatures down in the southeast will definitely be record-breaking. But will it be anything dangerous? It is hard to tell at this time. Thanks again, Navis. My boys are in Texas, Chicago, and St. George, New York. Again, all areas that could end up seeing snow from this event. They really are, depending on how this plays out. We have a bit of heavy freezing rain in central Iowa right now, seriously. Let's bring up radar chat. Now at 3,117 subscribers. If you're not already, make sure to subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country, whether it's severe weather, winter storms, or tornadoes, or hurricanes. We are here again. We did over 20 hours of coverage last week, which was insane. But whenever there are big-time severe weather events like that, that's what we do. Yeah, I do think that severe weather could be a bit of a sleeper threat down in the parts of the south-central United States for this event. We do have a little bit of snow in northern Iowa, actually, right now. And we've got ourselves a special weather statement here that is associated with snow in the parts of Wyoming and Nebraska. We actually have a snow squall warning. Wow. So this has switched over fast. I don't know how long this has been in effect because we haven't been looking at radar. I got rid of the snow squall warning layout. That's sad. Okay, whatever. So snow squall warning has been issued for Burns, Wyoming. This is northeast of Cheyenne. This is for a dangerous snow squall that just is about to cross Interstate 80 here. If you know anybody traveling along Interstate 80 in between Bushnell and Hillsdale, make sure they stop immediately, get off the road. Again, this is going to be a dangerous snow squall that will reduce visibility and bring heavy snow as well to parts of I-80. Yeah, that's another thing, Joan. We could be talking about a little thunder shower threat across the Ohio Valley tonight, actually. It is not going to be anything too significant, but I won't lie to you. I do think that we could see an isolated strong thunderstorm somewhere down into parts of southwest Illinois or far eastern Missouri. If we just take a look at the HRRR here, we can see that, say, 2 a.m., we could have any one of these little bitty thunder showers potentially build up a damaging wind threat. I guess now they're more focused on southern Indiana and Kentucky, but some heavy rain is still going to be possible, especially across eastern Illinois there. And then, by tomorrow morning, we're going to be dealing with a big-time line of thunderstorms here in Ohio. No severe weather, but some heavy rain and wind could be possible. Now at 3,118 subscribers. Did not mean to click that. We are now 32 away from our goal for today. AT&Z GFS is cooking. That's for sure. An isolated, very low tornado threat does exist. SPC mentioned good level, low level shear with this system. Are you talking about for our winter storm event, or are you talking about for tonight? Because tonight, NATOcast actually does have a very, very, very low-end tornado threat that they have technically put in place here for parts of the Ohio Valley. I guess it has actually been upgraded. There's now a 2% tornado risk across parts of north central Kentucky. Again, kind of the area we were talking about where we could see an isolated, stronger thunderstorm. Somewhere in southern Indiana or Kentucky, maybe we see a very isolated, brief tornado or something. But tomorrow, NATOcast actually has put out a 5% tornado risk for parts of Delmarva, which is insane to me. I don't know what they're driving that from. If somebody could explain to me, that would help out a lot, actually. I don't know how they can genuinely put out a 5% tornado risk from that. Obviously, again, it's all AI generated, so take it all with a grain of salt, but that's just insane to me. Wait, you're in DC? What is this? Yeah, again, I don't think it'll be any major tornado threat or anything. Like NATOcast wants it to be. Again, obviously you should trust SBC over NATOcast. Traded say NATOcast is better with sleeper events. That is true, but I wouldn't even call this a sleeper event. I would call this a nothing. I don't understand how they can pull a 5% tornado risk out of their butt cracks from some thunder showers. That's insane to me. I mean, if we look at the NAM model here, I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, but how is that about to generate a 5% risk, Mr. Storm? Again, I do agree with that there will be a decent amount of wind shear in place. But there's absolutely no reason that there should be a 5%. And if they absolutely insisted on putting in one, why Delmarva? That's my question. That makes no sense, but... No, they don't factor in population bias. It's all AI generated. Sheer madness? Certainly. I don't turn those off manually, guys. Those just get automatically disabled for some reason, and I've not had that problem until like a couple weeks ago, and now every single one of my posts has comments disabled. I don't know what happened, and I don't know how to fix it, so sorry about that, but if you ever have anything that you want to say about one of my community posts, feel free to just leave a comment on like my recent video or something. Speaking of recent videos, I hope you guys enjoy our Newcastle Moore tornado documentary. Excuse me. Did the more video disable comments? Huh. Like, I don't know why that is, guys. I genuinely have no idea. That's really weird. I think as for the sport on it, though, it did end up doing really well, so that makes me happy. Yeah, again, comments were originally on there. I threw out a poll where you guys can actually vote on what tornado you want to see next. And currently, Joplin is significantly winning that poll, unsurprisingly, which I guess that kind of does make sense to get all the obvious ones out of the way first. You know, we did Tri-State, we did Newcastle more. I think it kind of makes sense to do Joplin next. But I was honestly kind of hoping to do the Niles-Wheatland, Ohio-Pennsylvania tornado, due to the fact that that was a very significant EF5 because it was the furthest east F5 ever. So again, if you're just not tuning in, feel free to subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country. I know people are probably getting sick of me saying this, but we do have a lot of new viewers tuning in, so I just want to let them know. Again, we do this for winter storms, severe weather, tornadoes, hurricanes. We were live at points where nobody else was over the past week, covering significant tornadoes across Alabama and Mississippi. We need an El Reno video. That was not an EF5, so... I could do one, but... I guess if you're talking about El Reno Piedmont, sure. But... a lot of people actually don't know about that one. Just kind of surprising to me. Oh, wait, we still have tens of thousands of people without power across parts of Mississippi. How's the bayou looking near Morgan City, Louisiana? All good. I mean, no snow, obviously, no severe weather. Just going to be pretty warm and muggy out. That will change, actually. It will cool down a lot next week, so be excited for that. Yes, the 2013 El Reno was not an EF5. That is a mistake that people make a lot, though, because it is somewhat believed to be one of the strongest tornadoes of all time. So people think that that means it was automatically an EF5, but that is not the case. Damage ratings on the EF scale are based off of damage done, not tornado strength. Yeah, all good in Louisiana. Really, that could be said for the entire state. Interested to see how low these temps get. I guess that's something we didn't touch on too much. If we just take a look at the GFS model here, though, real quickly, and we take a look at the temperature map, we can see, yes, the El Reno Piedmont was an EF5. But if we take a look at the temperature map here, we can see that obviously things right now are actually quite above average across a good chunk of the United States temperature-wise. But again, there will always be a flip. If we take a look at the next several days, again, after this first Arctic blast moves through, the littler one, we'll be talking about temperatures probably, say, in the, 30s or so across a good chunk of the Ohio Valley, even for highs, which is a little cooler than normal. But this big push of Arctic air, whenever it really starts to roar, that's whenever things will get very, very, very far below average here. This is January 5th. I mean, look at upstate New York. I mean, we're talking about temperatures, not wind chills, temperatures without the wind chills factored in the negatives. Same thing with parts of upstate Maine, same thing with parts of northern Minnesota, northeast North Dakota, and then even for parts of the Ohio Valley here, we're going to be talking about temperatures in the single digits, which is obviously very significant. We get into Wisconsin, again, more of the same there. St. Paul, Minneapolis will be waking up to probably single-digit temperatures. Again, very significant stuff. And that Arctic air, again, it will go very far southeast. That's the very significant thing about this massive Arctic blast here, is freezing temperatures will stretch all the way into Florida, which is insane. If you're not aware, that does not happen hardly at all. But yeah, that'll be the big headline here. Record-breaking temperatures in the southeast, I believe. My personal opinion. Again, I mean, even like Houston, Texas here, I mean, it's going to be 50s, which is below normal, believe it or not. But again, the big push of cold air will be across parts of the Ohio Valley in the southeast here. If we take a look at dew points, we are actually going to have them be quite high in parts of southern Texas still. And again, maybe this could fuel a little bit of a severe potential across parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma here. Let's actually see what the GFS is forecasting. Come on. And the GFS never showed an incredible severe weather event. It was mostly the European that liked the idea of a severe weather threat. But GFS, they do rise up there very noticeably. We will be talking about dew points in, say, the 60s for parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama. Again, this will be nothing like the outbreak that we just had down here, but I mean, we will be talking about lower 50s all the way into parts of central Mississippi and maybe even southeast Arkansas. So, potential severe weather threat. I saw a message with pizza emojis. Mitch said if we get a Carolina banger, he will eat Liz's. I'm going to pretend like I didn't see that one. I'm not going to lie. Alrighty. But yeah, it's pretty funny to see dew point values get so low. I mean, we're talking about negative 20, guys. I mean, that is... What does the scale stop at? Negative 21.4. So yeah, this is literally breaking the scale up here in Canada, which is pretty funny. Again, if you're just now tuning in, feel free to subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country. Whether it's severe weather, hurricanes, or winter storms, we are always here. Again, right now we are covering a snow squall just east of Cheyenne, Wyoming, and also discussing a big-time winter storm for the Ohio Valley next week. Early to mid next week. We're also trying to hit 100 likes this stream, so if you're not already, make sure to like the stream. We're at 86 likes currently. Thank you guys so much for the support. Ugh, sorry. So we'll see if they reissue this snow squall warning or not. I imagine that they actually will, since this hasn't even crossed I-80 yet, which is the main reason they issued it in the first place. So again, at 3:52 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, a dangerous snow squall was located along a line extending from near Albin to near Meriden Rest Area, moving south at 20 miles an hour. Hazard, intense bursts of snow, gusty winds leading to blowing snow, and visibility rapidly falling to less than 1/4 mile, wind gusts up to 35 miles an hour. Impact, travel will become difficult and potentially dangerous within minutes. Yes, guys, for this event, it is very important to make sure that you can spot your town on a map. Um, Again, a lot of people, if you show them a map of their state even, they won't know where they're at. It's very important that you do know that, so that you can kind of know what to expect for your area. Again, say you're in Missouri here. Some people may live in, let's say, Cape Girardeau, and they don't know where that's at on a map. It's very important. It's down here in the southeast, if you were wondering. But, alright, see you, Sam. 3,118 subscribers. We're now only 32 away from our goal for today. Yeah, I mean, that is the American stereotype that Americans are dumb when it comes to geography. And in some cases, that's certainly true. We actually have some cold weather advisories up in the parts of California right now. But cold weather advisories for those areas, the standards are anywhere below freezing. So, alrighty, snow squall warning has now expired. They did not reissue it, but they have kept the special weather statement here for it, so continue to watch it. I was thinking about doing a documentary on the New Year's Eve tornado outbreak of 2010, but it didn't really pan out well. Again, I've been doing a lot more documentaries recently, so I think I'm going to kind of chill out on those for a while. They actually did now reissue that snow squall warning. Alright, so again, Hillsdale burns anywhere along I-80 here in between Bushnell and Hillsdale. Make sure you're avoiding travel. Snow squall warning has been issued. Again, if you're just not tuning in, feel free to subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country, whether it's winter storms, hurricanes, or tornadoes. We're here for you, even whenever sometimes nobody else is. Yes, I'm sure all the Southerners will go nuts because an inch of snow is possible. They're going to buy up all that milk, all that bread, all the toilet paper. It's going to be nutty out there in the Walmarts for the next several days. Still lurking, this crazy Sam. Again, I know people get annoyed whenever I ask to subscribe so often, but the call to actions really do work. So, sorry if they get constant and annoying, but 88 likes now. We're 12 away from our goal. Happens in Missouri too. Yeah, especially I assume it does more recently now that snow is becoming more and more scarce in Missouri. Less frequent, put it that way. What's up, Mark? How's it going? Can everybody let me know where you're watching from? Where's everybody tuning in from today? Yeah, Southerners have more experience driving in severe weather rather than snow, obviously. What's up, Jesse? Yes, Killa. Any snow coming to Mississippi? Yeah, so again, the extreme northern part of the state, again, maybe a little coating of snow to an inch of snow from this event, but again, anywhere outside of that, I would not expect anything snow-wise. Again, maybe some severe weather, actually. Again, nothing nearly as intense as what we just had, but it's possible. Southern Illinois. So again, that's one of the areas that keeps getting flip-flopped over and over again. The new run of the GFS here, if we take a look at the 18Z, which is finally, by the way, almost fully loaded, it is showing after both major winter storms here roll through, we are expecting Southern Illinois to rack up well over a foot of snow on areas right along the Ohio River there. And then, again, if you're talking anywhere north of that, really anywhere north of, say, the Mount Vernon area, you're not seeing a foot of snow anymore. And again, that's after the second winter storm, too. If you're just talking about after the first one, you know, a good, say, foot of snow is still going to be happening right along the Ohio River, likely 10 inches Mount Vernon, anywhere north of there, a good half foot. Too far south, yeah. We're now only 31 subscribers away from our goal for today. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe if you do enjoy this content. If you are interested in weather at all, this is the channel for you. Yeah, I'm going to try to start becoming more active on that subreddit again. What's going to happen in Missouri next week? Yeah, so again, Missouri is going to be one of those wild card states here. The new run of the GFS likes the idea of southern Missouri picking up on a lot of snow from this event, actually. It's saying well over a good 1.5 feet of snow there for some spots of extreme southern Missouri, the central part of the state there. We're going to be talking about, 7 or 8 inches of snow. Really, the entire state, though, can expect at least half a foot. But if you look at a past run of the GFS, we can see that it's a lot more modest. We're talking about, say, 8 or 7 inches of snow in southern Missouri. Same thing for the northern part of the state. And some parts of far southwest Missouri only get a little dusting. The 6Z run of the GFS shows even less. The 0Z run of the GFS shows a little bit more once again, but now focus on the northern part of the state. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty with this event still, because we are still forecasting over 200 hours out for this. Nice, Killa. Will Georgia get snow? Not down there in southwest Georgia, unfortunately. Maybe again some thunder showers, but that would be about the only exciting thing that happens here. You'll take it, yeah. Fair enough. Hey, we did it. We had hit 100 likes this stream. So thank you guys very much for that. I think we're going to end off things here within the next few minutes if nobody has any more questions. Squeaky chair. If we did a gritty every time we hit 100 likes on a stream now, that would be almost every stream. So again, thank you guys for all the support. I really do appreciate that. But I know 100 likes used to be our gritty mark, but now it's going to have to be a lot higher since we do have a much wider viewer base now. Which again, thank you guys very much for that. Couldn't do it without you. Low taper fade. Probably just lost like 1,000 subscribers or so by saying that. Even though we don't even have 1,000 people watching, they'll find a way. Alright, see ya, Joan. What's up, Nolly? Yeah. How am I looking at northern Oklahoma with that upcoming ice storm, maybe? Yeah, so again, the new run of the GFS likes the idea of you getting quite a bit of ice. If we take a look at the south central United States here, take a look at the total snowfall values, because yes, this also does include sleet. The new run of the GFS here with this first winter storm, again, it likes the idea of you picking up on maybe a good coating of snow/ice there. If we take a look at the actual precip, though, we can see that, again, northeast Oklahoma will be a spot to watch for ice, although it'll mostly be focused south of you, actually. So... will Dixie Alley be active in January? Quite possibly, yes. Again, La Nina pattern, man. See ya, Joan. Thank you for tuning in. Alrighty, so I think we're going to end off this stream here. If you guys did enjoy, feel free to like and subscribe. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe, and next week's Winter Storm, we will be back with, actually, our 2025 YouTube goals video tomorrow, likely. And did we achieve our YouTube 2024 goals? Check out. So thank you.